There's a song that always touch my heart when I sing it. Let's turn it up a bit. The song said, when thou walkest by the way, I'll lead thee. On the fatness of the land, I'll feed thee. And the mansion in the sky, I'll lead thee. And a high place I'll bring down. Oh, when thou walkest by the way, I'll lead thee. On the fatness of the land, I'll feed thee. And a mansion in the sky, I'll lead thee. And a high place I'll bring down. That's in my spirit all last night. When thou walkest by the way, I'll lead thee. On the fatness of the land, I'll feed thee. And a mansion in the sky, I'll lead thee. And a high place I'll tear down. Hey, Holy Ghost! Hallelujah! 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 Hey, glory! I wish I had the whole church praising God with me. I wish somebody would praise God. I wish somebody would praise God. I wish somebody. Hallelujah! I wish somebody would praise the Lord. Hallelujah! Glory, 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 glory. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. But then when you're young in God, you don't understand. Hallelujah. That's a comfort song. It's a comfort song. The Lord said, when thou walkest by the way, I will lead thee. He said, on the fatness of the land, I'm going to feed you. He said, that mansion in the sky, I'm going to give you a deed. And your high place, I'm going to tear it down. Amen to God. While I was meditating and preparing last night, that was a song that was in my heart. Amen to God. And it was so beautiful. I'm not afraid to tell you when I started crying. I don't cry in front of people. I'm at myself weep. I just couldn't help myself. Amen. What a promise from God. What a promise from God. He's going to tear down all my high places. And he's going to replace it with something glorious. Somebody say glorious. Glorious. Amen to God. I want to speak to us on the topic, as I aforementioned, tolerance. We live in a time and a season that is known as a hyper tolerance dispensation, or in layman term or terms or tongue, a period of excessive allowances. In other words, you're free to do what you want. It's a hyper tolerance dispensation. The term tolerance is defined, and it's a good definition. For we ought to have a semblance of tolerance. And the definition is the capacity for practice of recognizing and respecting the opinions, practices, or behavior of others. In other words, if you have the ability to respect others' opinion, practices, or habits, and behavior, you are by definition tolerant. And let me say, as I said a few seconds ago, that there has to be some semblance of tolerance. For if we are brethren in the house of God, and I tell you or give you or share with you my opinion, and you cannot respect my opinion, then you don't have that good tolerance that you ought to have. Somebody say tolerance. Tolerance. And such a tolerance, as it has been defined and traditionally understood, is truly a virtue. It is good to be accepting of somebody else's opinion. We cannot be dark, as we always say. When people are speaking, and there are times in the house of God we are dark, we are inflexible, we block our ears, and we don't know what people are going through because we don't give an ear to understand it. We don't give an ear to listen to what people's difficulties are. If you will listen well, you'll get to understand who people are. You have to say true. It's okay. If you listen well, and we were talking about my son, and we were observing him, my wife and I, and we were saying that he's a good listener. And I said, well, you know, just like Daddy. Yeah. And that's one attribute that I like about myself. I listen. And can I throw Sister Lisa in? Sister Lisa said to me last week, you know, Pastor, I like something about you because you listen. Did you not say that, man? He said, you listen, and we throw ideas at you, and you don't throw them to the curb, but you listen. And if you're not a good listener, you can't lead people. Open your mouth, it's true. And all this, there's a teaching going on. Amen to God. You have to be a good listener. When you're a good listener, you develop tolerance. And that's that good definition I gave you of listening to somebody's opinion, listening to somebody's definition, listening to somebody's complaint, listening to somebody's gripe, listening to somebody's, amen, who feel adverse to what you are doing and or saying. You have that level of tolerance. But this is not how tolerance is taught today. The tolerance that I define is the old-fashioned definition of what tolerance should be. Today, the word is redefined to speak to something which is, or what I have defined as detrimental, because it has appropriated a sinful nature. It has appropriated sinful behaviors, and now its application has become more harmful. Its application has become more dangerous. The word tolerant, when you walk around saying that I'm very tolerant, people have a different definition of tolerance. This definition now has become harmful. I said to God, how do I convey this, Lord? How do I preach this? Do I teach this? And I have to, at the point I said, Lord, I'm going to leave it up to you, but I'm just going to go. But this definition of tolerance have changed. It has been redefined. What, my brothers and sisters, was deemed tolerable in the past, we're talking political positioning, and we're talking about the advent of research and technology of the human genome. All that was tolerated, all that was well received, has catapulted or metamorphosized into what is now called, listen to this definition, the objective opinion on what is good, what is right, what is bad, and what is sin. Are you with me? In today's society, it is not only good to respect different behaviors, but now the added component of sinful behavior is expected to be accepted as well.
Yes.
Are you with me?
Yes.
And so it's not about your opinion anymore. It's not about your position anymore. Now sin has been incorporated.